Hello and welcome to this yoga class. We are going to be working into the spine in 6 different ways. So that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, and that way. So getting a lot of movement through the spine. The spine is like any other joint in your body. It really does benefit from as much mobility as you can give it, as much movement as you can give it. So that's what we're going to be doing. We'll slowly be building up until we hit 3 peak poses, which will be the peak of those kinds of movements. Okay, so we're going to start today in child's pose. You're welcome to take a supported version of this child's pose if you want to. Grab a pillow and come to lie down in front. So just bring your knees nice and wide, big toes together behind you, and you can just chill out on the pillow if you would like, or no pillow too if you're very mobile through the hips. And you can just come forward, dropping your forehead to the floor, or forward to your forearms. You just choose where you want to be. And we'll just take a few moments here just to turn inward. Bring your attention away from whatever else is going on for you, away from anything that is trying to pull you away from being fully present. You can focus instead just on the gentle movement of your breath. Feeling it as it comes in and out through the body. And feeling how your body responds to the breath. The gentle movements of the body. And the weight of gravity on you. And let that gravity invite in a little bit of heaviness into your bones, so you feel like you kind of sink down a little further with every breath out. And yet every breath in energizes you a little. So just take these moments to bring yourself into a more balanced, neutral state. Okay, and then we're going to keep in child's pose, but you're just going to extend your hands out in front of you. Nice and long. Maybe your forehead rests on the floor. Maybe it rests on a block as well, if you need a block. And then you're going to wiggle your hands across to the left hand side. So you sort of start to make some space through the right side of the body. Okay, and again, rest your head on a block perhaps, or on the floor is fine too. Just a very gentle stretch through the right side of the body. And then you'll find your way back to the center and then across to the other side. Okay, so just bringing your hands across to the right. And the more you press away with the left hip, then the more deeply you'll feel this stretch through the left-hand side of the body. So choose your depth. Okay, one more breath here. And then you can come back to the center. And you'll work your way up now onto all fours. Okay, and then when you get onto All fours, we're going to take a couple of rounds of cat and cow. So first of all, establish for yourself a neutral spine, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, spread your fingers nice and wide, and your knees underneath your hips. Okay, breathe in and draw your belly down, pull up through the crown of your head. Just a gentle movement, first of all, to see how you're feeling today. And then as you breathe out, you can just gently round through the back, tuck your chin. Okay, breathe in, drop your belly, lift your head. And breathe out, round it out. And then you're welcome to start exaggerating the movement if that feels really good for you. So you can breathe in, drop the belly, lift the crown of your head, pull up through the crown of your head and pull your belly button down. Squeeze your hands towards your knees. And then as you breathe out, you can slink through your spine, pull your belly button towards your spine, tuck your chin and push into the mat. Again, breathing in, dropping down. And then breathing out, rounding it out. Okay, and then send your whole body over to the left as your head comes over to the right. And you're going to try and make kind of bigger circles with the whole top part of your body. Breathe in as you get to the top of the breath. You're here with your head lifted, and then begin to breathe out. Spin the body around the other way. Okay, top of the exhale takes you fully with your chin dropped and your head dropped. Okay, and then you'll breathe in, come to the top. And then breathe out, round it out. Okay, so just making nice big circles with your body, change direction. Okay, and then come back to that nice neutral spine. So you're going to bring your right hand just underneath your face a bit, okay? And then you can pull your left hand up like a bow. So pull the left hand up, reach up and look up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring your left hand underneath you with your palm facing up. And then you're going to kind of spin your face that you face that left hand and reach your right hand forward. So just a gentle twist into the spine here. If you want to get a bit deeper, you can also take your right hand and hook it onto the inner part of your left thigh, helping facilitate that twist a little bit if that feels nice. Okay, one more breath here. And then you can release. Come back to that all fours position. Okay, and then we'll take it to the other side. So scooping the left hand right underneath your face and then drawing up the right hand. Pull it up and spin your gaze up as well. So you get that twist through the spine. And then you'll pull the right hand underneath you, palm facing up, and extend the left hand out. Okay, so again, option to stay here, or you can bring the left hand all the way around and then hook it on the inside of the right thigh. One more breath here. And then slowly release. Back onto all fours. Okay. And then we're going to lift up the hips, finding your way into a downward facing dog. And as you get there, just bend one knee and then the other. So just gently feeling into whatever is going on in the back of your hips, through the back of the legs today. Okay, and then find stillness in that downward facing dog. Take a breath in through your nose, press your tailbone high, and as you breathe out, press down through your heels, press the back of the knees back. Okay, step your feet to your hands, come up halfway,
And then breathe out, take ragdoll pose. So you can just bend the knees and let your hands hang heavy onto the floor. Your head be really heavy as well. You can shake it out side to side if you'd like. Shake it backwards and forwards if you'd like. Take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, open your jaw really wide and press it out. Okay, and then pull your belly button in towards your spine to help pull you up to standing. As you get to the top, take a big breath in and reach up. Breathe out, bring your hands to your heart center. Okay, breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, fold yourself down. You can still bend the knees here if you would like. Take a breath in and lengthen the crown of your head forward. And then you're just going to step the right foot back. So lift up through the right foot and step it gently back behind you. You can come onto the right knee. Okay, so we're coming into a low lunge here. Okay, so making space through the front of the right hip. Take some nice deep breaths here. If this is too much, you can come up onto the knee as well. If you can't quite drop down onto the floor, or if you have a longer shin, you can bring your hands to the insides. But do keep that knee squeezed in. And your chest is lifted and long. I'm going to take a couple of rolls just from this lunge to a half split, just to activate through the hips, release whatever's going on there before we move further into the spine. So take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're just going to roll back through your hips, straightening out the left leg. Okay, then breathe in and roll forward. And then breathe out and roll back. Breathe in and roll forward. And then this time we're going to come up. So you can bring your hands to your knees to help you support yourself as you come up. Okay, bring something underneath your right knee as well. If you find that it's a bit bony and you don't have good cushioning underneath there, then you're welcome to bring something underneath the right knee as well. So bringing your hand now, your left hand to the crook of the left hip, reach your right hand up. And then you can start to pull yourself over. Okay, so we're expanding through the whole right side of the body. I do kind of like to release my left hand here because I feel like it kind of wedges sometimes. So if you do have a lot of space for your side body like I do, you can release that hand and just focus on the expansion. Helps to lift your gaze as well. You can take one more breath here. And then come back to the center. Reach both hands up. And then exhale to your heart center. We'll take a twist, so breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to hook your right elbow into the outside of your left knee and then bring your gaze over the left shoulder. Okay, and you're still softening a little bit into that right hip flexor. And try as best you can to keep your hands in the center of your chest. Doesn't matter if they're not there, but just the intention is there to get them there. Okay, one more breath. And then we'll come back to the center. Reach both hands up. And then you'll cactus your hands open. Okay, take a breath in, and as you do, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So you start to kind of get this openness through your chest and then lift up. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring your forearms together in front of you and then press them away. So you'll breathe in and open up. And then you'll breathe out, close it down. Breathe in, open up. Keep your elbows lifted as well. Breathe out, close it down. Breathe in, open up. And then you can release. Hands to the floor. Okay? And then you can just step that left foot back, coming onto all fours, curling the toes into downward facing dog, lifting up the hips. Okay, feel free to walk out your hips, so you can just bend one knee and then the other. Nice, gentle release through the hips. Okay, and then breathe in and step your feet to the front of the mat. Come up halfway. Breathe out, fold yourself down. Breathe in, let the breath carry you all the way up, hands overhead, and into your heart center. Breathe in and reach up. Breathe out, fold yourself down. Come up halfway. And then we're just going to step back on the left foot so you can bring it up and then gently drop it behind you. Okay, and then come down onto the knee. So we're back in this low lunge, just making some space through that left hip flexor. Taking any variation that you would like. So remember, you can come up onto the knee or come down onto your hands. You can bring your fingertips either side. If you have longer legs like I do, your choice. Okay, just making some space through the front left hip flexor. And we're going to roll a couple of times between here and that half split. So breathe in, breathe out for the half splits, just straightening out the right leg. Pull your toes in towards your face. Try to keep your chest lifted as well, so you get a lot of length in the spine. Breathe in and roll forward. Breathe out, roll back. In and forward. Out and back. Okay, in and forward, and then we're going to come up into our full lunge. Okay, so coming up, breathing in, reach your hand up. This time the right hand comes to the right hip so you can pull the left hand over. Okay, again, I always do kind of like to release there and have a bit more space. And try to stay nice and soft in your jaw, that space between your eyes. Think of Sthira and Sukha, strength and ease, two components of every pose. So where can you find more strength in this pose? Where can you find more ease, more softness, more space? One more breath here. And then you can come back up to the center. Both hands up and into your heart center, preparing for the twist. So breathe in, breathe out, bring your left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and you'll look out over the right shoulder. Okay, there's a tendency here to press too hard into this knee so that the knee collapses inwards. So just make sure that the knee is aligned over the ankle or slightly behind it. Okay, and then just gently looking behind your right shoulder, pressing the fingers towards the center of your chest. One more breath here. And then you can come back to the center. Reach both hands up. Cactus the arms. Okay, breathe in and squeeze your chest open, squeeze the shoulders together. Elbows come out. As you breathe out, round it out. Forearms come together and press away. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, round it out. Breathe in, open up. Breathe out, round it out. Breathe in, open up. Last one, make it a big one. And then you can come down. Okay, so just gently release that right foot. Step back onto all fours. And then downward facing dog. Lifting up the hips. Okay, take a big breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. And then step your feet to your hands. Come up halfway. And we'll take a forward fold here. So bring your feet about hip distance apart. And then take a hold of the big toes or the calves, whatever you can grab is fine. Inhale to extend your chest forward, okay? And then as you breathe out, you'll pull your chest down towards the ground. So we're trying as best we can to keep the hinge at your hip here. And this should feel really good through the hamstrings, back of the hips, even the lower back should feel really nice. Okay, and then you'll bend your knees and curl yourself all the way up. Breathe in and reach up. Bring your hands to your heart center. Okay, so we're going to take Trikonasana. So you're going to step back with the right foot, and you'll just spin it so that it's at like a 90-degree angle, and your left foot is facing forward, okay? And then you'll straighten out the left leg to the point where it's still very active. It's not collapsed, so it's still engaged, but it is straight, or as straight as you can get it. Gently tuck down through the tailbone so you have an engagement through the core. Then you'll bring your hands out, parallel with the floor, palms facing down, okay? Breathe in. As you breathe out, hinging from the left hip, you're going to send yourself as far forward as you can before you pull yourself down. Okay, so the left hand comes to wherever it comes to, the shin perhaps, maybe even the thigh, or maybe the shin. Maybe fingertips come to the floor or to a block. Maybe you can take a hold of the big toe. Okay, but whatever you're doing, you're spinning your chest up, so there's no collapse down. We have a tendency to do this in Trikonasana. So really do think about pulling up and expanding, okay, through the right hand and through the right shoulder. Okay, nice and steady on the breath here. One more breath. Okay, and then you can bend the knee if you'd like to come all the way up. Perfect. And then we're just going to spin to face the opposite direction. So the legs just changed. Now you're facing behind you. The left foot is at like a 90-degree angle. The right foot is facing forward. So straight through the right leg, but still strong. Tuck through the tailbone. Okay, so engagement through the core. Hands up, palms face down. Breathe in. As you breathe out, send yourself forward, as far forward as you can. The more forward you can get, the deeper you'll be able to get into the lengthening of the left side. Excuse me. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can drop the right hand, and it'll fall to wherever it'll fall to, so maybe somewhere different than the other side, or maybe the same place. Either is fine. There's a tendency here to collapse weight as well into the right hand. So just make sure that this right hand is there for support and it's not there to take the weight. So you should be able to lift up the right hand and your body will stay in the same location. Okay, so you can lift your gaze if that's okay for your neck. I slept a bit funny on my neck last night, so my neck's a bit sore. I'm going to keep my gaze down. Otherwise, you can lift your gaze up at the hand. Nice and steady on your breath. One more breath here. And then you can find your way back up. Nice, so just step to the front of your mat. You can give yourself a little shake out, little shimmy, okay? And then we're gonna step back with the left foot. We're going to step back with the left foot and then spin it out a tiny bit. So it's about 2 feet, or maybe a bit more if you're taller, maybe a bit less if you're shorter. Okay, but you're going to step it back and you're going to spin it out a tiny bit. Have your hips facing forward. Okay, preparing for permanent pose. And then again, get this tuck of the tailbone. All right, bring your hands to your hips, take a breath in. As you breathe out, you'll extend yourself forward over that right leg, okay? And then if you are kind of struggling still with your hamstrings, grab a block, grab some supports, whatever you would like. You can bring that there just in front of you, okay? And then you can bring your fingertips to the floor or to a block. Okay, whatever you have is cool. Okay, and then we're going to work into this twist once again. So bringing the block, if you have a block, to the left, to the inner side of your foot, to the left side of your foot. And then imagine that you're drawing that arrow up once again, like we did at the beginning. So taking hold of the arrow right at the base, get that length in your spine, and then start to pull it up and open. Okay? And think about pulling the right hip back as you press the left hip forward. spinning your chest to face up to the sky. One more breath. Okay, and then you can release it down. So you bring your hands back to your hips. You can take a little bend in the right knee if you would like. Extra support as you come up. And then we'll change sides. So the left foot steps forward, the right foot steps back now. Okay, if you're struggling with balance, by the way, just take your feet a little bit wider. So if you're looking at me straight on, I'm not like this, one foot directly in front. I do have a bit of width, okay, between my feet. So set yourself up, square your hips forward, okay, and then get this tucked down through the tailbone. Hands to your hips, breathe in for length first of all. Breathe out to send yourself forward. And then maybe the hands drop to the floor, fingertips to the floor, maybe to a block. If you need some extra support, that's cool too. I sometimes like to take this support even though I don't really need it. But I like to take it sometimes just because then I can focus on other things. So it's not like an intense opening through my left hip. I can start to really focus on what else is going on in my body here. Okay, and then we'll move into the twist. So that block can come to the inside of the right foot if you're using a block. And then the same thing applies here. We're going to pull the arrow up nice and slow. So really do feel that torsion, that twist that comes through the spine as you start to pull the arrow up. Okay, and then you'll lift your gaze up at that left hand. If that's okay for your neck. If it's not, of course, you can just keep your gaze on the floor. But if you can lift your gaze, do so. It'll encourage the left shoulder to peel open. Continue to pull back through the left hip. Peel that left shoulder open. One more breath here. Okay, and then you can just release. Bend through the knee if you'd like to support yourself. And come back up. Okay, can get rid of that block. Give yourself a little shimmy shake. Big breath in, reach up. Breathe out, come down. Breathe in to lift up halfway. And then drop your hands to the floor. Step yourself back to a high plank. Knees drop this time, and we're gonna lower down. Okay, we're gonna take locust pose. We're gonna do locust pose, 2 locust poses, and then we're gonna do bow pose. And then you're in the clear. So for locust pose, we're gonna start by bringing your hands behind you, and you have your thumbs pointing down, and imagine that you're squeezing something behind you. Actually, if you have a block, you can hold the block behind you and think about squeezing the block between your shoulders. My shoulders are not that open, so I just have to imagine there's a block. But you can, maybe if it fits, put a block there, okay? Otherwise, you're just thinking about squeezing that block between your hands, okay? And then you'll lift your chest up off of the floor, squeeze the block, maybe lift the feet up as well. Okay, so find your way in and up. Get that squeeze between the hands, and there's a squeeze between the inner thighs as well. So you want to think about spinning your inner thighs to face up, and then squeezing them toward one another. Okay, squeeze the block, take a breath in. Breathe out, come down, release. Give your bum a little wiggle, side to side here if you'd like. And then we'll go again. So hands come up, thumbs point down, squeeze the block, peel up. Okay, maybe the feet come up as well. Inner thighs are active towards one another. And your face is soft. Remember, Sthira Sukha, where can you find more strength here? Where can you be stronger? Where can you find more ease here? More softness. One more breath. And then release. Again, you can shake your butt side to side a little bit. Okay, and then we'll go for bow pose. You're very welcome to skip bow pose if you're not comfortable and just come up into cobra pose. So your forearms are on the floor, your shoulders, your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You can just stay here. Breathe here. This kind of feels very good. I'm tempted to stay here actually and not do bow pose. But if you want to do bow pose, let's do it. So you're going to take a hold of your feet behind you. Okay. Get that squeeze, that activation between the inner thighs, and then you'll use your breath to propel you up. So breathe in, balloon yourself up, and kick your feet back and away. And then again, retain a softness in the face and in the breath. One more. And then you can release. Woohoo! Okay, coming down to the floor, maybe shaking out the hips, and then very slowly pressing yourself back. Okay, and we'll take child's pose here to finish. So I'd encourage you, if you have a bolster or pillows lying around, do take those items and lay them out in front of you so you have something to lie on. Okay, you can just collapse yourself forward. Okay, we're gonna finish here in Shavasana. This will be our Shavasana. You're welcome to take Viparita Karani as well, so you can come and lie on your back, throw your legs over the sofa. That can feel really good as well. It'll have the same neutralizing effect on your spine too. So choose wherever you want to be for the next few minutes. Wherever you are, I invite you to let go of any control that you might have over your breath, any judgments that you might still be holding for yourself about things that you could or couldn't do today. Take note of and release any emotional heaviness that may have come about as a result of any of these movements, any of these thoughts. And then try as best you can to make yourself really very heavy. Once again, letting gravity just press you down and letting your bones be heavy too. Okay, you can begin to take a little wiggle, perhaps through your fingers and your toes. Maybe a few deeper breaths. And then nice and slowly, keep your head really heavy and your eyes closed as you find your way up to seated. Nice and heavy with the head. Okay. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Taking one last final moment to tune right into your body. And especially tuning into your spine and noticing how it's feeling, noticing any more space that you've managed to find here. Okay, and you may gather your hands at your heart center or to your foreheads if you would like. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you really enjoyed that and you're feeling really fluid now through your spine. If you like this video, then please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I release a new video every month on here. Thank you very much and have a very nice day.